So good morning, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Helena. I'm the Executive Director with the Greater New York Chamber of Commerce. We represent 30,000 different business and civic leaders. And I am very fortunate in my position that I am able to coordinate with the SBA, Small Business Administration, to put on presentations, webinars, an opportunity for businesses to learn and get access to capital. And this is a very, very important presentation that we are thrilled that we have the opportunity to put on. Access to capital is what makes the economy, go forward. That's the bottom line. And with access to capital, you having the opportunity to meet the lenders, ask questions, will only facilitate and expedite you getting the opportunity, whether it's access to capital or having the access of money to hire new people to expand your business. So right now I'm going to turn it over to Manly Lynn. But I first of all, for this whole panel, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for your time. It's so on behalf of the Greater New York Chamber, we so appreciate this because we do get the feedback. We get the feedback, and I communicate that with Manly all the time, how appreciative we are, how appreciative the businesses are, especially the small businesses, and the entrepreneurs, because they feel like they don't have access to capital, and this is a perfect forum for them to learn that they can. So before Manly Lynn starts, we have a chat going on. Put your information in the chat if you have any questions. They will be monitoring the chat. We'll probably do Q&A at the last 10 minutes, but we will be monitoring the chat. Put your information in there, and I am going to turn it over to Manly Lynn. Manly, thank you so much for your time. You do this all the time, and we're so appreciative. Like I said, I can't thank you enough for this. Thank you again.
Thank you, Helena. And thank you, everyone, attending today's webinar. The purpose of today's webinar is not answer your individual loan questions, like if you can get a loan, are you qualified for the loan? So this is educational and encourage you to meet with the lenders and listen to them, because each lenders, they provide different funding alternatives or resources to you. So you will receive all the emails, contact, for the contact the lenders, and also their programs. I already prepared the materials for you, so you will receive that. So just listen to them, and the most important things, contact them after the event, and then you can talk to all of them. So this is my email address. If you have the questions, you can contact me. SBA.gov have all the information, can help your business no matter what stage or what problems that you encounter. So one-on-one counseling is very important for the small business. Today, you learn about actually how to prepare for the loan, but you will need assistance from our resource partner. They can help you with your business plan, with loan package preparation, and also they work with different lenders, so maybe they can guide you to the the best one that can suit your need. So you can go to this website, enter your zip code, and you can choose our resource partner and talk to the business advisors. Now I'm going to talk about SBA's financing programs. The first one, if you go to our landing page, SBA.gov, you click on Find Lenders. You can answer the questions, 10 to 20 questions about how much money you want to borrow and the situation of your business. You can get matched in 2 days. So you can talk to those lenders. They think you're lendable. So there are more than 800 lenders participate in this program. Then you can make decision which lenders will be best for you. So I will let the lenders talk about how you can prepare for the loan. But SBA's guarantee loan, actually, you can get $500 to $5.5 million to fund your business according to your need. But not everyone need SBA's guarantee loan. So if you go to your bank or the lenders, you're qualified for their own programs, take it. But if the lenders, they think it's too risky to make loan to you, unless SBA guarantee to the lenders, to them, they cannot make loan to you. Then the lenders will submit your loan package to SBA. If approved, then the lenders can make loan to you. So actually SBA, we guarantee to the lenders up to 85%. Means if a borrower cannot repay the debt, then SBA will pay the lenders up to 85%. So we reduce the risk of the lenders. That's how government work with lenders to help the small business. So you can see there's a lot of loan program. I will just talk about 3 categories. The first one is 7A loan programs. This is the most common programs. You can see here that you can use the process for almost everything, even refinance your existing business debt. You can borrow up to $5 million. The interest rate is prime rate plus 3 to 6.5%. The good news from October 1st, this week, if you borrow less than $500,000, you don't have to pay the guarantee fee. So the details, I hope you can talk to the lenders. We have express guarantee loan. Turnaround time is only 48 hours. You can borrow up to $500,000 through our preferred lenders. So later you will find out which lenders they make the express loan. We also have cap line. There are 4. One is for working capital, one for contract, one for seasonal business, and the builders. So depends on your need and situation, discuss with the lenders. The community advantage loan, you can borrow up to $350,000. Right now, we call SBA's a small loan. So more information that the lenders will talk about. The second program is 504 loan. This is a very special program, specific for you to buy, for business to buy the property or machinery for the business, or do the improvement or moderation of the business. So you will see the chart here. You only pay 10% down, or up to 15%, depends on your situation. And then SBA will lend you 40%. And we will work with one lenders to lend you 50%. So you will borrow money actually from 2 lenders. The beauty of this program, you only can pay 10% down, and for property go up to 25 years maturity time. And also, you have to, actually, this is a requirement. You have to use more than 51% of the property for your own business. 40-something% you can rent out. So a lot of business actually, they use this loan and then they use the rent to pay the mortgage. The third one is for startups. We call micro loan. So most of the lenders, they don't make a loan to the startups. So SBA will work with nonprofit organizations in different communities. So micro loan is, for startups, even you just planning. You can borrow from $500 to $50,000 for prepare for your business. So at least here, the lenders are here that you can contact them to ask them, because all the requirement interest rates are different. SBA also lend money to venture capitalists. So here have the directory of those venture capitalists. You can contact them, but you need to prepare. Okay, surety bond is for construction company. When construction company get government contract, they need funding. So SBA, this program can help the business to get a funding program. we have 3 international trade loans. This year, actually, SBA broadened the definition of exporter. So if you're not an exporter, but if you sell your products or provide services for exporter, you can use our international trade loan. You can borrow up to $5 million, okay? This one also SBA will provide funding for each state. So our Empire State Development Corporation, they got funding from us. If you participate in a foreign trade show mission or trade show or trade mission, they can reimburse all the up to 70% of your expenses. So please go to the website. I think right now they already schedule the trade mission for 2024. The last one, there are 2 grants for business to do the research and development. So you have to learn, see actually what opportunities there. So every year I have more than 5,000 awardees. SBA will coordinate with the 11 government agencies. So you can see here cover about everything, not just invent some products or goods actually, for the programs like training program, research program, you can apply to. And each of the projects more than $1 million. So this is the biggest secret, actually, for a lot of business they didn't realize. So I hope that today we listen to the lenders. You will get your funding no matter what stage of your business. So now, okay, we have 7 lenders here today for you. So first, please, all the lenders, please introduce yourself. I will just call your names according to the position on the screen. So Jose.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jose Mare from Ascendus.
Okay, Rob.
Yes, this is Rob Rodriguez. I'm Relationship Manager at City National Bank, a private and commercial bank focusing on entrepreneurs. And probably more importantly, because back home, a very proud community partner, Great New York Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. Franco?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Franco Riofrio. I'm a senior business consultant with JP Morgan Chase, and I help serve all sorts of small business owners, minority-owned businesses, and I'm happy to join this panel.
Thank you, Renee.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Man Lee. Thank you, Helena, for the invitation. My name is Renee Cruz. I'm the Senior Business Lending Officer for BOC Capital Corp, which is the lending arm to our main organization, the Business Outreach Center Network. We're providing financing and technical assistance services to small businesses in New York City, Westchester, Long Island, and some of the surrounding counties in upstate New York as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Barton.
Morning, Man Lee, and everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Barton Jackson with TD Bank, Relationship Manager in Business Banking for now 16 years. TD Bank is a regional bank from Maine to Florida.
Thank you, Leo.
Morning, everyone. My name is Leo Zhang at Pursuit. So Pursuit, we're a CDFI and a lending organization that's been around in the community for over 65 years. So yeah, excited to be on this panel.
Okay, thank you. Liliana? Cannot hear you. Okay, we were.
Try to, she's not muted.
Okay, now, okay, try it now. Still cannot hear you.
Let me see if I can. Ask to unmute. I'm asking her to unmute.
Or switch audio.
Who's using phone?
See if she can, you know what, try and come back in maybe?
Right. Okay, you maybe log out and come back again. Okay, so we will
Okay,
go
I'll be
to,
on the lookout for her on the
Okay.
attendees. Hold on.
thank you. So my first question is, what stage of the business you can make loan to? Like, startups or, have to be in business 1 year or 2 years? Jose, please.
So for us at the moment, you have to be operating the business and the owner of the business for at least 1 year. So that means even if it's a business that's 5 years old, you can't just purchase it and that's okay. No, you have to be the owner and operating the business for at least 1 year.
1 year, okay. Ralph?
We like to see at least 2 or 3 years of business tenure, meaning 2 or 3 years of business tax returns. But again, Ralph always gets himself in trouble. There is a possibility if we can position a credit as a guarantor reliant credit facility. Not the easiest thing to do. You have to have very strong financials on the personal side, but it's quote unquote possible.
Thank you. Franco?
Yes, so very similar. As a traditional lender, JP Morgan is obviously catering to all sorts of businesses, right? We welcome the opportunity to help all the businesses. Now, traditionally, we have worked with businesses that have been in business for at least 2 years. However, with our partnerships with the SBA, there may be opportunities to work with startups, companies that are kind of getting started with a reliance of an SBA guarantee. But again, everyone is welcome to come and join us and apply, and more importantly, get educated as to some of the programs that we offer.
Thank you. Renee?
Yeah, so at BAC, we are providing lending to all stages of business. I will highlight something in regards to startup loans. They're very specific here at BAC Capital. I think a lot of the lenders will say the same. If there is an opportunity for some startup lending, it'll be with very specific requirements. That is indeed the case for us here at BAC. Ralph alluded to the personal guarantee, being able to be reliant on the guarantor's personal finances and things like that. That is something that we would be heavily looking at in a deal for a startup business. So the possibility is there. Is it the easiest thing to obtain? I will be very honest. I like to be transparent. It is not easy, but it is definitely possible.
Thank you. Leo?
Yeah, similar to what Renee just mentioned, typically we work with businesses that are at least 2 years in business. However, there are exceptions made, and we have made loans to businesses with under 2 years.
Okay, thank you. Liliana, let's try. No? Okay. Helena will work with you.
I think it's on her end because we all have access and she just came back in.
Probably has to change the audio settings. on
Yeah.
her end. She's listening.
Right.
Where the microphone is a little arrow, and just play around with the options of the speaker or the microphone rather.
Right, you have to choose on the web.
So I'm not sure if she's on a phone though, so I don't know if she's
Right.
calling in. That's what it might seem like.
Or she can maybe call it, Liliana, you might be able to call in, but that might. She's trying to do that now.
I think that's what she's been doing.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
I don't know.
Which telephone number are you? The 212-400? No? There's a 585 or a 917. I can have you allowed to talk. 74. Okay, I'm having you. There you go. Try now.
You have to unmute you.
It's S.
Good morning.
There we go.
Good morning. My name is Liliana. I'm from Neighborhood Trust Federal Credit Union, and I am a business lending officer.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So stay this way, okay, finally, yeah. Okay, now we go to next questions. Do you make SBA's guarantee loan like 7A, 504, micro loan or international trade loan? Jose?
No, we do not have those programs. We have others which we'll talk about after, but we don't have those specific programs.
Okay, Ralph?
City National Bank is actually SBA preferred lender, so definitely 7As. 504 loans, we've been a year running number 2 in the nation offering that program. In terms of expedited microloans, we don't do that. We do offer financing for international supply chain business.
Thank you. Franco?
Awesome. Yeah, so similar to Ralph, JP Morgan is also a preferred lender with the SBA. So we offer everything from Express, 7A, 504 programs here at Chase.
Thank you. Renee?
Yeah, so our Bach Capital, being that we are a small nonprofit organization, we don't do the international trade loans. We're not doing 504. We're limited to the SBA microloan program, which are loans anywhere between $500 and $50,000. And we also are a SBA Community Advantage lender, which Manly mentioned has kind of been rebranded to the SBA Small Loan. Although the program with the SBA goes up to $350, our internal limit is $250,000. So those are our two main programs: the microloans that go up to $50,000, the SBA Community Advantage that goes up to $250,000.
Thank you. Barton?
So like my other bank colleagues, TD Bank is a preferred lender with the SBA. And by now you're probably wondering what that means. It means we're able to actually underwrite the credit standards rather than having to send those documents out. So the process is a little bit faster for us. But we participate in the SBA Express program for loans and lines, the 7A loan program for term loans or commercial real estate mortgages, as well as the 504. Oh, and the import finance program.
Thank you. Leo?
Thanks for explaining that, Barton, what a preferred lender is. So Pursuit is also a preferred lender as well. We have a number of SBA programs, as Manly mentioned, all the way from the lower loan amount, microloans, the 7A to the 504. With our microloans, our underwriting is done in-house, so we can give the applicant a quick turnaround time.
Thank you. Liliana?
We currently do have the 7A Express SBA business loans, as well as it starts from 500 to 350,000. We offer term loans and business line of credit.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Other than SBA's guarantee loan, what other loan programs do you have? Jose?
So we have a regular or traditional microloan program that goes up to 50,000. We have a line of credit product that goes up to 25,000. We also have a New York Forward loan program that goes up to 150,000. And we have an Entrepreneurs of Color Fund program that goes up to 250,000.
Thank you. Ralph?
So City National offers traditional business loans, lines of credit, loans for purchase of equipment. We have a equipment leasing company under our umbrella, First American Equipment Finance. And also, especially for startups, sometimes you have to lean on the personal credit side. We can offer personal loans and personal lines of credit up to $1 million or more.
Thank you. Franco?
Yes, very similar to Ralph. It seems like we were playing in the same sandbox, but we offer some of the same traditional credit products, anywhere from equipment financing, real estate. We offer our owner-occupied real estate program that allows businesses to potentially occupy their piece of real estate all the way up to 25 years. One of the best things that we can offer our clients is we've enhanced our underwriting guidelines. So for traditional products on requests under $250,000, we've expedited the underwriting process actually to make the transition or the time to money a little quicker. We've seen at times applications when clients go into one of our branches and apply for a loan, and the application is on the $250,000, they've actually gotten approved immediately and actually gotten funded in 48 hours, believe it or not. So it's a great time to come and talk to us and kind of learn some of the products that we offer.
Thank you. Renee?
Yeah, so aside from the SBA micro loan program and the SBA Community Advantage that I had mentioned before, Bach Capital, as a nonprofit organization that has multiple funders, when it comes to our term loans, we have a variety of different programs, all the way, again, from $500 to $250,000. Really, because we're a mission-based lender, a lot of the determinations that we make in regards to the program that a client is enrolled in Depends on the demographic of the client, if it's a woman-owned business, if it's a business that's located in a low to moderate income community. So our underwriting guidelines stay the same throughout most of our programs. It's just more so depending on, again, the demographic of the client or where the business is located, they can be eligible for a certain interest rate depending on some of those different factors. But aside from our term loan lending, one of the other things that we're doing that we're very active in right now is our contract-based loans. So I'll keep it very simple. If you are a business that is working with the state or the city of New York, and you need what's called bridge capital. So if you know anything about working with the government, is they're going to pay you eventually, but they take a long time to pay in most cases. We have a program designed to be able to bridge that gap. So it kind of mirrors line of credit product, a little bit of characteristics of factoring as well. It's kind of a combination between the both things there. But again, it's a very specialty program. If you have a contract with either the state or the city of New York, we can definitely try to say we can help you with some bridge capital.
Thank you. Pardon?
So by now, you might be hearing a lot of different solutions. So I would encourage folks that are on the line to really be open-minded and reach out to a number of us and let us know exactly what you want to do. TD Bank's a full-service bank, so that means that we've got working capital lines of credit to support your sales cycle and cash flow. We have term debt solutions for acquisition, equipment finance, or lease finance, as well as any other expansion or improvement projects. Commercial real estate mortgages, both if you're going to occupy that with your operating company or if you're looking to be an investor. We also have specialized financing for healthcare and franchise practices. And, for those that need to negotiate a commercial lease, we also do standby letters of credit in lieu of cash security deposits, which some landlords really prefer to have in place.
Thank you. Leo?
Yeah, so at Pursuit, we have over 15 different loan programs. If I could just categorically, in terms of loan size, we can go as low as 10,000 all the way up to 5.5 million for our SBA 504-7A. And just to name a couple of the loan programs we have a veterans loan, we have a line of credit product, one of our lines. Typically, they're term loans, anywhere from 5 to 6 years and up. And we also have certain loans that if business is located outside of New York City, we can also help with. So these loans have different uses. And certainly, as Martin mentioned, feel free to reach out. We can certainly educate you further.
Thank you. Liliana?
We are currently working with capital access loans as well as auto. We offer auto, personal, business line of credit, personal line of credit, HELOCs, as well as mortgage, auto loans, and we also offer secure credit cards for building and recuperating your credit, and as well as secure loans for building credit and fixing your credit as well.
Okay, thank you. So the next question, because today actually our purpose to encourage all the business contact the lenders. So what would be the best time? So when of the business should contact you, Rob?
So it's always the going joke, what's the best time to contact a lender? When's the best time to take a shower or brush your teeth? Probably on a regular basis. So the answer to the question is, think about your financial hygiene. If you're gonna brush your teeth and shower on a regular basis, talk to your banker or your lender on a regular basis, even if you don't need the loan, especially if you don't need a loan. It's better to plan out now versus having to backpedal when you really need the money. One suggestion though, before you talk to a lender, please actually brush your teeth and shower, because it's a better conversation. It's throwing it out there.
Thank you. Franco?
I agree with what Rodolfo just said, of course. And I would add to that they should reach out to the bank before what the strategy is around borrowing, right? There's when you have conversations with your CPA and your finance team, you should also bring in your banker, person that is going to be able to help you finance things. I can't tell you the number of times where folks are on 2 different pages when it comes to their financials, their cash flow, their business, and they go to the bank with a different perspective. And go to your bank whenever you need education, right? You definitely need to know what type of programs are available for you, for your industry, and for your business at whatever stage you're in at all times. So I agree with Ralph. Definitely be in touch with your lender at all times.
Thank you. Renee?
Yeah, I mean, can't agree enough with what has been mentioned so far. I would just say as well, I guess kind of the reasoning why you're hearing the comments of, you know, just stay in constant communication with your banker, with your lending institution. There's a specific reason behind, or there are many reasons behind it, but one of the things that really stands out to me as well is through the conversations that you're having, you're going to be able to identify maybe you don't think that you need the financing right now or in the near future, but maybe through the conversations that you're having with your banker, they might be able to identify certain things that are happening in the business and how financing can actually help you complete certain projects that you have going on that you maybe didn't think you needed financing for. So I'll say this, I would really highly encourage, and it's been mentioned, reach out to all the lenders that you see on this panel. Each of us have very unique programs, although there is a lot of things that overlap. You want to get a sense of what the specialty areas of all the lenders are, because we do a lot, but a lot of us also do have very, specialty areas, if you will. And you want to be able to identify those, because if, let's say, you have a specific need in the business right now, and you've already been able to identify, oh, this lender is really good at doing this type of loan, then you know who you can go and speak with about that. And don't feel the need to have to actually submit an application every time you have a conversation with each of us. You don't have to do that. We don't have to have 10 hard pulls on your credit in a matter of 1 or 2 months. It's just a conversation that you would be having. So feel free to reach out. There is no obligation. You're going to get to know each of our programs, and it's just going to benefit you in the future.
Thank you. Barton?
Yeah, I mean, echoing a lot of my colleagues here on the panel, I'll give a more specific example. You as business owners are not an island unto yourselves. So making decisions and then coming to us thinking we can just do a transaction for you in the form of financing can be disastrous. I have a client that decided to move spaces, and the lease and the construction work was more than what his business could afford, and he just figured he could take out a loan for it. So unfortunately that wasn't the case. So now this client is stuck with 2 live and executed commercial real estate leases, which is very expensive in Manhattan. And this is a 15-year-old hair salon. So I ended up getting Leo involved from Pursuit. I helped tie him into a business advisor, a pro bono attorney, in case there needed to be any negotiation on the leases if he had to fully pull out. And between everyone, it looks like it's getting done. But that was a last minute, highly stressful matter of trying to make all these connections. And that's the other thing too. If we get to know who you are, whether you're just starting up your company or you're growing, or maybe you're experiencing a pain point, the more we know about you, the more we can connect you into our communities. Most of us have been around here for a minute. I've been practicing banking in Manhattan for 11 years, ever since I moved from the Pacific Northwest. That's my story. Everyone else here is established too. We all have our own community of resources, service professionals, folks that provide insight and guidance before you make really detailed and strategic decisions about your business.
Thank you. Leo?
Yeah, I would say reaching out to the lenders before desperation calls, because it could be the same business, and if you had reached out earlier, you would have perhaps been more prepared in weathering, let's say, tumultuous times. So it's always good to reach out sooner and really just anticipate the trends that are going on within your business, your industry. And, that way we can help, right? Because once the storm comes, any business and every business is going to be impacted, right? How you prepare will, I think, really help maximize the chances that you'll get through this storm. So that's one piece of advice I would have. And yeah, just reach out. I think the sooner the better. I think it's worth your while.
Thank you. Liliana?
Hi, I would say before starting the business, you go into the branch or the bank or the credit union and building a relationship with the bank. as well, or who's ever in charge with the business accounts, who's ever in charge with the business lending. I will also say that we also offer technical assistance for startups, for those who need assistance with the starting the business and also to making their business progress even better.
Thank you. Jose?
Yes. I think a typical conversation when we speak to lenders, and I think this is across the board, is one of the questions we ask, how much are you looking for? And a typical answer is, well, as much as I can get. Or what's the max you offer? If we say 100, then give me 100. So I think that's sort of sometimes a red flag, because it tells us you haven't really prepared. You're not really sure what you're looking for. And you have to understand that not all problems in a business is solved by money. So you want to request money when you understand what your needs are and what investments are you going to make your business grow, right? Because any loan you're going to get, you're going to pay interest. But you want to justify that and make the assumption that whatever you're going to borrow, you're going to make up for, whatever you pay in interest and then some. So you want to be really mindful of what your needs are and understand how much that's going to cost, so you don't get into more debt than you really need, because this is money that we expect you to pay back. And I'll just touch on what Leo said. He had made a really good point. What happens is a lot of times people come to us when it's very late in the game. The business was, potentially strong, but they got into so much easy money, merchant cash advance type loans, and got into so much of that it's hard to really take them out, and sometimes impossible. So you want to be very mindful of where you're getting the money from, and that it's not going to eat up your cash flow. Because by the time you get to a regular lender that maybe takes a little longer, it might be too late.
Yeah, thank you. Next question. A lot of people worry about their credit score, their collaterals. So what are your minimum credit score and collateral requirements? Ralph?
So in terms of credit score, unless it's a very specific product within our portfolio, it's not a hard and fast rule. But as Bart has always said in these meetings, your credit score is the character portion of the 5 C's of credit. What we're looking at really is cash flow, because I've had credit applications where the guarantor had a 750 credit score and we declined it because they had the cash flow to support that new credit facility. Likewise, I've had other clients where they showed up with a 640 credit score. They maxed out all their personal credit cards to support their business, but everything's paid on time and there was cash flow to support that. It made sense. Here's a rule of thumb. The less paperwork a bank or a lender is asking from you, there's one or two things happening. Either the credit score is very strict or that loan to be very expensive. Just keep that in mind when you're shopping around talking to people.
Thank you. Franco?
Yeah, I sort of agree with Ralph in that sense. There's credit score is just one of the numbers that we look for. It certainly is an important one, right? And it shouldn't necessarily be a deciding factor whether you should approach a bank or not. We have different products and different solutions based on the situation. The most important thing I would say about credit score is you should definitely educate yourself on what is it that is impacting your credit score, right? So definitely leverage annualcreditreport.com. that gives you access to your report in an annual basis. It's a complimentary service. And more importantly, review that with your lender, right? Come up with whatever it's impacting it, whether it's negatively, positively, and get ready to know the importance of that. Because even though you are applying for a business loan, the personal guarantee component and the personal aspect of your credit is one of the most important aspects of the applications. So that's just my take on this.
Thank you. Renee? Yeah,
so I'll actually start with collateral because it's the most simple one. We don't really have any collateral requirements. So it is rare when if collateral is available, we would ask for it to be pledged, but you're not going to get a denial from us because you don't have collateral present. That's not the type of lender that we are. We're more so a cash flow lender. So that's really one of our focal points there. In regards to credit, there is no minimum credit score. It really does depend on the context of your credit. We're not getting fixated on your score, because I can tell you this, and I say this almost all the time that I'm on these panels, and A lot of my other colleagues on here as well share the same sentiment and have even said the same comments themselves. We've seen folks with a 650 credit score that actually have really good credit. And the reason why the credit score is at 650, maybe a medical collection, something that they weren't aware of, some small account that just really dropped their score, as opposed to somebody who, let's say, has a 750 credit score, but has one credit card with a $1,000 limit. It's not the same thing. So credit score is not what we're going to fixate ourselves on here at BOC. It's more so what is the content and the history of what we're seeing. Are you responsible with your accounts, or are you being negligent with those? We'll be able to see those patterns on there. And actually, we'll take a moment to plug a service that we provide here at BOC. And it goes back to one of the previous questions that we answered. We do credit counseling here at our organization, meaning if you know your credit is not in a good place right now, or let's say you're not really keeping track of where your credit is and you want somebody to help guide you with your credit, we can do that. We can actually do a soft pull on your credit. It's not going to have any negative effect on your score. And we can provide the necessary steps for you. If there is anything negative that you're dealing with right now on your credit, we can help you resolve those things before you hop into any type of loan process. And keep this in mind. Even if you plan, let's say, of applying with a loan for City National Bank or TD Bank, you can still come to us to receive credit counseling. So the credit counseling we offer is not tied to you having to apply with a loan for a loan with us, I should say. So just keep that in mind. There are plenty of resources available, and we just want to help as much as possible.
Thank you. Barton?
Yeah, so I'll start with the credit score piece, and I mean, it's a little easier now that it's been all kind of said, right? It's part of the character of either the borrower or the personal guarantor. So we're looking less at the score and more at the activity. Are there delinquencies? Are there charge-offs? Is there anything that is, currently being contested? What is your payment history like? How are you leveraging your existing credit or debt solutions? And that's really important because it gives us an understanding of a borrower. But check it. You can do that at least once a year for free. And also, understand that, like everybody has said on our panel, the score itself isn't the end all be all. That's like going and checking your thermometer in the morning and saying, oh, it's cold outside without knowing why it's cold outside. Maybe it's winter. Maybe a storm has passed through, right? You need to understand why your score is where it is. And so really the material items on the report will detail that for you. And it's really important to kind of review it at least once a year or when you're preparing for financing. On the collateral side, that gets a little trickier for myself and the traditional lenders. So I'll try to make it as simple as possible. Imagine there's a fence right here. One side of the fence, a lender may have something called a scored model, where it's literally their application, maybe a couple of light supporting documents like the most recent business tax return. You submit that. If you're approved, the bank is only going to file what's called a blanket asset loan against the business, which means we're not looking for specific collateral. But if you don't pay us back and we go to court, we're going to touch everything that business owns, right? That is a way to be much more flexible for service professional businesses who may not have hard and fast collateral. Once you go over to the other side of the fence, you're in a world of full underwriting. And now a traditional lender is going to look for one-to-one collateral, which means for every dollar you borrow, I've got $1 in collateral from some category that has had a discount applied to it so that we can realize any loss that the bank may incur. And that value of the collateral to get to a $1 ratio is going to vary based on the category. Is it cash? Is it real estate? Is it accounts receivable? So it's really important to understand what makes up your business if you need to provide collateral security. And as a general rule of thumb at TD Bank, that fence line that I'm talking about is at a $250,000 credit exposure. Underneath that is our scored model. Above that is our full underwriting policy.
Thank you. Leo?
Yeah, so on the collateral, our loans, we don't require collateral for loans up to 100,000. I do want to spend a little more time on the credit score. One is that's just one data point that the lenders look at, right? So if let's say your credit is in 700s or even in the 800s, great job, keep it up. If it's low, there's still good news. As Renee mentioned, there are ways to help to increase that credit score. So the goal is always to increase it. I was recently at a in-person event and someone had asked about what about business credit score? So if your business is around 2-3 year mark, I would say focus on your personal credit score because it's got a longer history, there's credibility, and lenders want to see who's steering this ship, right? So if it's low, good news is it's not static, it's dynamic. You want it to go in the positive direction, right? And really just maximize the chances of getting that approval, which is part of the ultimate goal, right? Credit score, cash flow, and if the lenders are looking for a collateral, you know, if there's collateral available, certainly that's a big bonus there.
Thank you, Liliana.
The Neighborhood Trust, we actually work with a minimum credit score of 640. When it comes to collateral, it all depends how much the loan is for or the line of credit. As well as even if your credit score, it's not above 640 or in the 700s, or it's actually below the 640, we will still work with you. While in the process of working with you, we will also refer you to a financial counselor who would help you and make sure that your credit score and everything that's being reported on your credit score is accurate, as well as we would also, like I said earlier, we would refer you to the business financial counselor as well, who will help you with both. We will also offer you any type of other support if it comes to you wanting to apply for a secured credit card or a secured loan, which also helps as well with building your credit and fixing your credit. We also do work with members who've had bankruptcy, but not more than 5 years. Well, less than 5 years, I actually mean by that.
Okay, thank you. So the next question, we heard several lenders mention cash flow.
Sorry.
Oh,
Manley, you
okay.
skip me. I'll be quick though. So we don't require collateral, and our very minimum credit score is 575.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
Just one quick note on that: 575 FICO score. I mentioned that because out there's Vantage score, there's other types of scores, so you want to be mindful. Most lenders, I'm not sure if everyone here look at the FICO score, so just be mindful of that.
Okay, thank you. So what is a good cash flow statement for your underwriting request? Because we heard several lenders mention cash flow is very important. So Rob?
So very quick lesson in credit underwriting, and you sound very smart to a banker or lender. Debt service coverage ratio. And a lot of lenders are looking for a number anywhere from 1.2 to 1.25. That means for every dollar of debt that you have a $1.25 of net income to support that debt. And for City National, for SBA credit facilities, we can go down to 1.15.
Thank you. Franco?
Yeah, very similar. When it comes to one of the biggest aspects when it comes to underwriting a credit facility for traditional financing, it's the cash flow of the business. And what that means is we are looking for businesses that are cash flow positive. Now, when it comes to a cash flow statement, we would love to know what's the story behind the statement, what's driving some of the numbers that are in there. At times, there are instances in which one-time expenses occurred in that particular year that are not reoccurring. But more importantly, we want you to know those numbers. As a business owner, it's not just the job of the accountant to present those numbers to you or explain them to you. You need to understand them as well. And more importantly, explain that to your lender, because there are instances, for instance, that we can potentially add back some of the items that may be one-offs, if you will. But a good cash flow statement is one that is positive, that's showing some good trends, and that you're able to explain.
Thank you. Renee?
Yeah, I have to agree with what Franco just mentioned as well. We want to see those positive trends. So we're going to be looking at your historical financial information. And this question can be answered in so many different ways, but really, because as I mentioned before, Bach Capital is a cash flow lender, we're going to be heavily relying on the strength of the financials. And I typically leave this for the question that Manley asked in terms of some of the common mistakes that we see when it comes to borrowers, but I'm actually going to take a little bit of that answer and I'm going to include it in here because it is particularly important. Keep in mind, it's not necessarily what you can tell a lender, It's what you can prove to them on documentation. So we're going to go by what your financial statements state. So you can come to me and let me know, Renee, I am generating $1 million a day and my expenses are only $500,000 a day. I'm netting $500,000 every single day. But if your tax returns and your financial statements show that you're generating $1 million, but your expenses are $1 million, or that the numbers just don't match up with what you're actually telling me verbally, I cannot go by what you say. I have to go by what the documentation says. And I see this happen time and time again. So make sure, small business owners out there, if you're just getting started, or even if you're an operational business, if you have an accountant whose sole goal is to only save you money on your taxes and not really reflect the information accurately on your financial statements, they are doing you a disservice, and you're going to get cut short from financing opportunities in the future. So cash flow is extremely important. Make sure that it is accurately reflected on those financial statements.
Thank you. Barton?
So, when it comes to cash flow, we're at 1.2, and Ralph did a really great job of explaining it. So one of the things that I would encourage you to do is use that as a best practice. The formula is very straightforward. You're taking all of your net incomes divided by your existing debt and expense obligations, plus the proposed debt that you want to see. Rate ranges can be kind of wide, so be conservative with that, and choose something on the higher end to kind of be sensitive to where rates may come and go in the market. And you can literally tell yourself, hey, I can afford this loan or this credit line or this piece of financing. So one of the best pieces of advice I can give you when it looks at cash flow, since that's the lifeblood of your business, is to do a little bit of math, get curious, run scenarios, good, bad, and disastrous, right? It's a fun practice.
Leo?
Yeah, I echo what the panelists mentioned about the debt service coverage ratio. In addition to that, so as they explained so eloquently, there's a floor. Ideally, you want to go above the floor. For us, Pursuit, we can look at the coverage ratio of anywhere 1.15, even as low as 1.0. Definitely, we would want to analyze the statement a little bit more. So if the math equation checks out, I think the second part is also the presentation of the statement itself. We've gotten financial statements where it's done on Excel, or perhaps it's written down on a piece of paper, and that was how it was presented to us. So definitely take some time, work with your bookkeeper, or if you're preparing it, go through it a little bit more, and make sure it's more presentable, right? It's detailed, it's organized, so we can actually see clearly what's going on.
Thank you. Liliana?
Our DSCR starts from 1.2. We also actually look at how are you receiving your finances. If you are self-employed, are you mixing your personal and your business income together? We always recommend that you always separate your finances from personal to your business, as well as how is the flow coming in. If your income from last year lowered from the one from this year, or if your income from this year went higher from the one from last year. So it always depends on how you actually keep it, as well as any receipts, any purchases, any losses, any profit. We always make sure that you include everything, especially in a business plan summary or in a business loss and profit documentation.
Okay, thank you. Jose?
So we have a 1-to-1 coverage ratio, and we look at historical figures. So what you've been able to prove that you've made historically, whether it's bank statements or taxes. I mentioned this because sometimes people have big plans and they have projections. That's more like projections-based lending. And some lenders do that, so it's important to know the difference. But we look at what you've been able to prove you make and what you actually show that you make. As I think I can remember who said it, but it's very important to get into the habit of being as transparent as possible, because we can only work with what we can prove you've made.
Okay, thank you. I think we only have 3 minutes left. So, Helena, did you see any questions that we have to answer right away? I saw many of you just, talking to the lenders, say, can I know what's the interest rate, everything. I really encourage you, talk to all the lenders. We will send you all the contact information, okay? And their programs, so you can see their programs. But important things, include the lenders, be your management team. So they are here to help you. They can provide valuable information for your business future, not just today. Okay, maybe today you need a loan. You want to ask if you qualify for that loan. But lenders can provide you more, can guide your business to successful future. Okay, so Helena.
I pretty much have been monitoring the chat, and everyone has been answering the questions. I know that Stephen Canena, Stephen, to answer your question, I think you should reach out to the panel to get that specific information that you asked for. I don't think they can answer it right now. And everyone's going to get a copy of the list of panelists today, as well as it is being recorded on Chamber TV. It was really interesting because you talked, the importance of credit counseling. And it's really important that it's like Ralph and like everyone has said, before you're even interested in a loan, get ready. Have your books in order, have your paperwork in order, go see your banker. If you don't have a banker, anyone on this panel is a fabulous start. And have a one-on-one with them and tell them what your goal is. It might not be right now that you need the money, but you know what? You might anticipate it in 2 years, get ahead of that. And I think that's the importance of what I took away from this. Also, which was really interesting is, if we talk about, we have a lot of presentations with Manly about access to capital. How to get government contracts and how to get government grants. And if you're not getting the money from the government being paid, in a timely basis, you do need that bridge. So I thought that was really, really interesting about that. So I just wanted to say, thank you so much, Ralph Rodriguez, City National Bank, community partner with the Greater New York Chamber of Commerce. Franco, community patron partner with the Greater New York Chamber of Commerce. By the way, JP Morgan Chase and the Greater New York Chamber is doing a power lunch on October 18th. And it's going to be meet the lenders in person over lunch. So we're going to be doing something like this, but more specific with JP Morgan Chase. So join us if you want to meet Franco in person, which we're really excited about. Renee Cruz, Bach Capital Corp. So appreciate everything that you said and the communication that you offered and the information. Again, Barton from TD Bank, again, great information. Leo Zhang, thank you so much. It was interesting that you talk. I wrote a note about that, but I completely. Sorry about that. I'm going off. But you had something about entrepreneurs and small businesses. How important it is to have you talked about communication and credit. Very, very important. Liliana, thank you so much for your input. Jose, again, everyone, thank you on behalf of the Greater New York Chamber of Commerce. Again, you'll get a copy of the presentation. It is being televised. If you have any question, let us know. And everyone have a great day. Thank you again for this very informative panel. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
And thank you, ma'am. Poor thing. Thank you so much for putting this together in your time.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.